My name is Hunter. I'm Head of Growth at the Good Business Charter, and today I will be speaking about the benefits of embedding good business principles into the workplace. I will define what some good principles are, some of their components, and most importantly to take from the day, the benefits of them. And at the end, I will tell you how this all relates to the Good Business Charter. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my personal experience with good business principles, and that will take you back about 10 years ago when fresh out of university, my daughter had just been born, and I was working in the hospitality sector with no fixed hours, no fixed income, and was working a lot of hours and struggling with a bit with money. And I was pouring a pint for someone, and they were desperate for some work in their stockroom over Christmas, moving boxes. I jumped up on this opportunity to move these boxes, and at the end of the period, the manager of the store at Richard Sounds offered me a job, and I thought, you know what, I'll take this job, I'll do it for a year, and then I'll find something for my career. However, 8 years later, I was still there, and the reason I was still there was because Julian Richer had embedded these brilliant good business principles into his workplace. He would visit every store once a year. Back then there was 52 stores, so it's basically one a week he would visit. You know, I had his phone number directly straight away. He was, his motto was, if you look after your employees, they will look after everything else. It's as simple as that. And from that, you know, out of the last 12 years, they've been the Which Retailer of the Year for 7 years. And now he has taken a step back. Richard Sounds is employee owned, so they have their own voice for the employees. And he wanted to take this framework from a successful business and put it into the Good Business Charter. And luckily, he managed to keep myself. And I'm now passionate about it, and I've moved over to take another opportunity to help him grow the Good Business Charter. So, enough about me. What are good business principles? These are a set of ethical and responsible practices that businesses can adopt to ensure they operate in a way that not only benefits them, but society, the environment, and also their stakeholders. Some of these principles include fair pay, employee representation, reducing environmental impact, commitment to customers, and generally being transparent and accountable. Incorporating these principles into the workplace can lead to lots of benefits, including improved reputation and brand value, increased employee morale and retention, enhanced customer trust and loyalty, as well as long-term financial stability and growth. Almost half of young workers want a company they work for to demonstrate a commitment to ESG, and 20% have turned down a job offer when companies' ESG commitments were not in line with their values. And like I said about Julian, main thing to take from this is if you look after employees, they will look after everything else. But also, why is the main reason people go to work is, of course, to get paid. And I know that obviously pay in this industry is always pretty high, but yeah, you should pay them fairly and above sector average, you know, and you will retain them. The largest cost of any business is their employees, you know, recruiting them, training them. The last thing you want to do is lose that member of staff to one of your competitors, and that will be an even bigger cost. Giving them a voice, the employees on the ground, running your business day to day, know what is going on. Their suggestions and concerns will not only make your organisation more productive and efficient, but it gives your employees a feeling of empowerment. Even a basic suggestion scheme that can reach your board level can benefit your employees and your bottom line. £122 billion was spent on ethical consuming spending and finance in the UK in 2020. I definitely do not claim to be an expert in ethical sourcing and the environment. They are massive topics, huge topics, and we could talk about it all day, probably all week. And it is definitely something that isn't going away. We need to think about ethics and the environment more now for a sustainable future. but there are many benefits of going above and beyond, as the public, your customers, your employees, your investors are all looking for this, and they want to work and support organisations that are being leaders in ethics and the environment. 97% of consumers in a 2021 poll said they think it's important for businesses to act responsible. Paying fair tax. Without taxes, where would we be? We need that cash flow in our government to ensure our economic survival more now than ever. Not only are taxes there to support the schools and teachers for our future workforce, but they're there for hospitals, for doctors and nurses to make sure our employees are fit and healthy and ready to work. And again, consumers are more conscious now than ever and would rather shop locally or at least at an organisation that pays its way. Big number. 400,000 small businesses face winding up because of late payment. Prompt payment to suppliers is another amazing principle that should be embedded into every workplace. Cash flow is key. The faster payments are made, the faster a business can operate. It increases efficiency. But not only that, it builds trust and rapport, therefore leading to stronger relationships with suppliers, which leads to better deals, variety of stock and services, and at the end of the day, more profits. Overall, by embedding good business principles into your workplace, businesses can make better ethical decisions that take into account the interest of all stakeholders. By operating in these ethical and sustainable manners, businesses can ensure their financial long-term growth and survival. So, how does this all relate to the Good Business Charter? Well, like Jeremy said, it was founded by Julian back in 2020, and he wanted to take this framework from a successful business and make it into something that can work for all organisations, no matter the size. Even being launched during the pandemic, we now have over 1,300 organisations, and as you can see, we've got a huge mixed bunch, from anything from sole traders to big names like Aviva. We've got charities like the Soil Association in there, Legal in General, TSB, all shapes and sizes. And not only Julian, but we worked very closely with the TUC, the IOD and the FSB to help create this charter, and also our members help it evolve all the time. We wanted to work with, like I said, the TUC, Francis O'Grady, and they're actually on our trust, on our board of trustees. And he has to say, the Good Business Charter has a key role to play in making the working world a better place. As organisations join, we hope they will inspire others and help them bring about general positive movement for change. A joint venture between Schroders and Lloyds, and created Schroders Personal Wealth. And Joe Ripley, the CFO, had to say, for us, the GBC's 10 components are a simple to understand but extremely robust framework that shows us how we should think about responsibility and sustainability. And finally, like I said, we wanted to work with the FSB for all of our smaller members to give them a voice. And Martin had to say, small businesses are embedded in their community and do so much good for their employees, supply chains and the planet. But this isn't often recognised or celebrated. The Good Business Charter provides a way to demonstrate this on our website to our clients for the very first time. I wanted to end on our 10 components, as I feel like everything I've talked about today is covered within them, and leave it up here for you all to have a look. The real living wage, fair hours, employee well-being, employee representation, equality, diversity, inclusion, environmental responsibility, paying fair tax, commitment to your customers, ethical sourcing, and prompt payment to suppliers. For our accreditation, an organisation must commit to all 10, and getting all 10 will receive this accreditation. I hope you all have gained something from today, and feel free to go on our website and sign up and get more information. I will be about as well. If you do have any questions, please do let me know.
Thank you.